So let's try to understand what are virtual machines. This is the further extension into the data center. So virtual machines are a type of on-demand computing service that enables users to host their Windows or Linux-based systems or applications in the cloud. So there is a process known as virtualization. So cloud service providers combine a number of physical servers to make them accessible to numerous cloud service users. So this means that each virtual machine is a replica of a specific portion of a shared resource. The shared resource here, it's a physical server. So in a data center that can be customized and utilized as needed. So here on to the extreme right in the pictorial presentation, you can see we have servers, right? So we have a stack of servers that are placed one above the another. You can see there are 4 servers which are placed one next to each other or one above the another, and all of them interlinked and which are connected. So all these 4 or maybe 10 or 20 or 50 or 100, whatever the number, all of them put together will be referred to as one single server that will be there in the data center. So combining all of them, it gives such a huge server capabilities, using which number of small virtual machines that will be spinned off. So today we are going to perform a lab exercise. We are going to create virtual machine. And what is a virtual machine and what is that we can do inside that virtual machine? We will look into all of them. All right. So let's quickly move on to the next slide. And here, the virtual machines. AWS offers virtual machines and they call it as EC2, Elastic Compute Cloud. The same thing in the Azure technology, Azure vertical, it is referred to as Azure Virtual Machines. If we go on to GCP, Google Cloud Platform, the same virtual machines are referred to as Compute Engine. So each and every service provider uses different terminology and concepts, but at the end of the day, the intention of using these virtual machines are one and the same. Next, let us try to understand what is an Amazon EC2, the virtual machine inside an AWS. An EC2 Elastic Compute Cloud is just a virtual server in the context of Amazon Web Services. So it is a web service that offers a safe, scalable compute capacity in the cloud. So you can choose from a variety of operating system, Mac or Linux or Windows operating system to spin off your virtual machine, to have an operating system inside your virtual machine. You can pick any operating system of your choice, any of these operating system of your choice. Apart from that, you can build your own virtual machine capacity, the hardware capacity. What should be the CPU? How many virtual CPUs you should have for your virtual machine, whether you want to have 1, 2, 5, 20, 120, whatever is the number, depending upon the requirement for what purpose you are using this virtual machine. And the RAM, how much memory that you need to have. This, once again, this RAM will be a virtual memory. Hard disk storage, how much storage you want to have in your virtual machine, and other configurations that are necessary for your applications that need to run effectively inside your virtual machine. So you can acquire and set up capacity using Amazon EC2 in a matter of minutes. So AWS is a platform that is independent of operating system and language. What does that mean? Amazon Web Services, they have their own operating system to run into their databases. They are not dependent on Linux or Windows operating system. They have their own customized operating system, and it's based on the distribution, one of the distributions of Linux. So by default, Amazon has a limit of 20 instances per region. This includes all instances set up in your AWS account. Please start making your own notes just take your notepad and start making some of these points we will touch upon, or you can raise the concern what exactly it is. What is limit? What does that mean? An instance. What is the meaning of a region? What is an AWS account? All these things, whatever the word that you come across, if you're not able to follow, if you're not able to understand, please make a note of it. In the Q&A session, at the end of each session, we will touch upon that and we will clarify. All right. So here, to begin with, AWS has a limit of 20 instances per region. Here, when we say instances, we are referring to virtual machines. So that means the moment you create your free tier account, you can go ahead and create up to 20 virtual machines, and you can use them at one time. At one instance, that is 20 instances, 20 virtual machines spread across different regions. Okay, once again, what is a region? Region is a place wherein the combination, the multiple availability zones are located. To put it simple, availability zones are grouped together into a region. To elaborate it further, to express it in a common man's language, India is a region, and the number of states which are there, we can term that as availability zones. Similarly, when we come to this technology in AWS or Azure or Google Cloud, the region will be referring to a specific location, maybe India. In India, in how many states or cities there are independent individual data centers are located? These independent individual data centers are referred to as an availability zone. And the cumulative of all these availability zones located in a particular region, it will be referred to as a region. Maybe in India, if we take one data center or an availability zone is there, Mumbai, one in Chennai, and one is in Kolkata. All three of them put together is referred to as one region, India region or India location. Okay, that is what it is. And in today's class, we are going to create a virtual machine and we'll be performing few tasks. Next, we will get onto a lab, and I hope all of you have completed this, the first lab exercise, creating a free tier AWS account. The document was already shared, and let us not stress upon, let us not go in depth in creating a free tier account. In case you have any difficulties, any issues, please keep in touch with me. We will look into that and we will clear this, because this is one of the basics of basics requirement. Unless you complete this, will not be able to do any of the lab exercise, because this is the platform where we will log in and we'll perform the lab exercises. So we'll get on to the first actual live lab exercise, creating a Windows virtual machine. So here we need to have some of the prerequisites. We need to have access to AWS Management Console. What is that? Accessing AWS Management Console, that is having a free tier AWS account. So I hope all of us, we have this, the first prerequisite. Next is a region and location where this VM, the virtual machine, to be deployed. As we were discussing, in which location, whether you want to host your domain, host your virtual machine in India or US, UK, Singapore, any location of your choice. There are over 27 regions are available in AWS, and each region has got between 3 to 6 independent availability zones. These availability zones are referred to as data centers. Next, further, the third prerequisite is availability zone. That is the physical location where exactly you want to host your virtual machine. And that we will look into while performing this lab exercise. We will check all those things. And the fourth one is Windows AMI. AMI stands for Amazon Machine Image. We will touch upon all these topics in today's class. What is an AMI? What is an EBS? What is a security group? Everything. All right. And further, EBS is elastic block storage. That is like the hard disk drive in your laptop or desktop. How much hard disk storage that you need to have in your virtual machine. And the last but not least is the security groups. Security groups or the monitoring thing that is for your EC2 instances. A security group serves as a virtual firewall to managing the incoming and outgoing traffic. What is an incoming and outgoing traffic? Let us say you have created a virtual machine and you made this virtual machine as a web server. In this web server, you have hosted your web page, right? So here you can control the traffic, which are all the people they can visit your website, number one. Number two, within that virtual machine, outside the traffic, which are all the web pages maybe you can open. You have come across, right, in your if you're working in a corporate environment, or some of the websites you will not be able to access, which will be blocked, maybe a region specific. I'll show today one of that. Okay, so we'll touch upon all these things in this lab exercise. Let me take you quickly into the AWS Management Console. Please let me know if you're able to see my screen. I just logged into, I just opened my Google Chrome. Do you see that aws.amazon.com/console?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Great. So this is the login page. If you have created your free tier account, this is the place where you will log in to your AWS Management Console. Okay, so I will click on log back in. I have already typed my credentials. Okay, this is the first screen where we will log in. This particular place is referred to as AWS Management Console. Okay, what is all about AWS Management Console? It is an online web application provided by AWS that includes large number of service consoles for controlling AWS services. So the definition part may be a little bit tricky, may not be able to understand. I'll put it in simple. I will show you. Do you see this services here? If you click on this service, you will see lot many services. That is analytics. And the analytics, you will get your Power BI, your business intelligence softwares, all those services will be available. Similarly, if you go for application integration related softwares, features are available. And similarly, if you come to compute, right now we are in compute. If you click on compute, you will get the AWS App Runner, Batch, EC2. EC2 is the service that we are going to explore in today's class. That is a virtual machine. The abbreviation of EC2 is Elastic Compute Cloud. So there are many ways you can reach this place. Either you can come to services, click on services, and scroll down all the way, and you can navigate, get into that particular service and click on that service, select the service. Or you can simply come to the search bar, you can type that particular service that you want to access. So here we have the EC2, that is Elastic Compute Cloud, and I'm selecting this. So this particular screen, what you see is called dashboard of EC2, that is Elastic Compute Cloud. So don't worry, guys, it may be a little bit confusing, but the entire duration of our training will be keep looking into this screen, and we will be touching upon all these minute topics that are there. Okay, there are over 200 plus services that are available in AWS. This EC2, what you are seeing now, this is just one of the service. Likewise, there are 200 plus services. So the immediate question is, are we going to learn all these 200 plus services? No. We will touch upon about 40 to 50 or maybe 60 services, which is required for this particular training and as per the agenda. And as you scale up, as you improve in this technology, you can start learning various other services. Some of the services are artificial intelligence available, machine learning is available, and satellite connectivity service is available. That means you can create algorithm here, and you can directly connect into the satellite, which is the numerous satellites that are revolving our planet Earth. There are over 3,600 plus satellites are revolving, and you can connect and you can fetch the data. You can get maybe the weather data. You can get a lot of other data that are useful and required. You can fetch all those details. And even the Amazon Alexa, yes, that is one service is available here. If someone is interested in coding, they can do the code and they can customize their Alexa device. There are many services are available. We'll try to touch upon as many services or as possible. So to begin with, I was referring to in the prerequisites. The prerequisites, the first one is AWS Management Console. And yes, we are already inside the AWS Management Console, right? So the first one we have touched upon. Next is a region or the location where exactly we want to host or create our virtual machine. Onto the extreme right here, do you see the name mentioned Mumbai? Guys, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, audible.
Okay.
Yes, sir. You are audible.
Okay, good. Thank you so much. So here you can see there are number of regions located. To begin with, we have US East, that is North Virginia. Next, Ohio region, California, Oregon, Cape Town, Hong Kong, Jakarta, Mumbai, and any of these locations throughout the globe, which is available, you can create your virtual machine. Okay. Let me not take Mumbai because I want to show you one specific thing. While giving the lecture, I told you blocking the incoming traffic, correct? So I want to touch upon that topic as well. If I select this Mumbai region, I may not be able to effectively present that. I may not be able to make you understand, or I may not be able to show you exactly what is incoming and outgoing traffic, what is allowing the incoming traffic and outgoing traffic, and how to block a specific region people accessing their websites or web pages. So that I want to show here. So I will select one of the region. Let's say California. I will select California is the region. So the virtual machine that I am creating now, that will be created in the data center, which is available in California. I am located in Bangalore, the capital city of Karnataka. Sitting here in Bengaluru, I am creating a virtual machine in California. And again, in California, in which particular city, that I do not know as of now. We will check that. We will select that particular location where exactly precisely we want to create our virtual machine. If we take our location, that is Mumbai, suppose I have selected the region as Mumbai. In Mumbai, where exactly you want to select? They have referred the region as Mumbai. It is supposed to be India location. Okay, and suppose we have selected the region as India. In India, where exactly your data center, your virtual machine should be created, whether you want it to be in Delhi or Chennai or Kolkata or Bengaluru, where exactly? Okay, that data center should be available there. So you can handpick that particular data center or availability zone, and then you can create it. So this is the dashboard, what you see, the dashboard of EC2, Elastic Compute Cloud. So as of now, you can see no resources are created. What does that mean? I have not created a virtual machine. Inside the virtual machine, there are no specific services that are taken. So here you can see everything is 0, except the security group. Security group will be the default one, will be made available to each and every region by default. So if you manually go and delete this security group, no doubt you can create a virtual machine, but you cannot access it. Why? Because the security group is the one that will control your incoming and outgoing network traffic. That means the moment you delete the security group, you're removing the access itself. Both incoming traffic and outgoing traffic will not happen to your virtual machine. Okay, now let's create a virtual machine, and I will make it quickly, and I will explain each and every component while one of you participant performing the same lab exercise in a couple of minutes ahead. Okay, so to begin with, I will select launch instance. So I need to give the virtual machine name. I will call it as demo lab. Okay. And here we go. This is called AMIs. I was referring to Windows AMI, right? Amazon Machine Image. Here you can see there are so many images are available. There is a Linux distribution available from Amazon. There is a Linux distribution available from Ubuntu. Windows operating system is available. Red Hat Linux operating system is available. SUSE Linux is available. To go with any of these operating system that you can handpick. So whichever is the operating system that you pick, that will be there inside your virtual machine, the virtual machine that you are creating. Okay, so for our lab exercise, I will select Windows operating system. Okay, this will be a server operating system. The base Windows operating system will be Server 2022. Okay, and instance type. What is instance type? This T2 micro is one of the family. It is like if you say you're going for a specific laptop brand that has got default specification, right? 4 GB RAM or 8 GB RAM and 500 GB of hard drive and 14-inch screen. So this is what it is referring to. A particular family T2 micro is referring to, it comes with one virtual CPU, 1 GB of RAM, okay, and that comes with the default Linux operating system. Of course, on demand, you can also select a Windows operating system. Whatever that you want, you can handpick. So here we are going with the T2 micro family type, okay, that comes with a decent configuration that is enough for our lab exercise. Suppose you want higher configuration. Is it possible to select? Yes, of course. I will show some of the things. You can see this particular one has got 4 virtual CPUs, 16 GB of RAM. Next, we have 8 virtual CPUs, 32 GB of RAM. There are some advanced configurations are available. You will get a 256 or 512 GB of RAM and 64 or 128 virtual CPUs. So here itself you can see this particular configuration C5 large. It has got 96 virtual CPUs are available. 192 gigabytes of RAM is available. Okay, so you can pick any of these virtual machine of your choice, and please be noted, as per the specification that you have picked, you will be charged. Whether you want to go for Maruti 800 or Maruti Omni or Mercedes S-Class, depending on that, similarly, whatever that you pick, accordingly, the specification, the charges will be levied. Okay, so further we have a key pair. What is a key pair that we will discuss in the next couple of slides. Just to touch upon key pair, or referred to as SSH keys, secured shell keys. So in Amazon environment, we use two types of keys, a private key and a public key. We will touch upon that. We will look into those things. First thing first, we'll have to create a key pair. Okay, I can give any name. I'll call it as demo VM. And I'm selecting a PEM key. We have two types of key. I was telling you, a private key and a public key. We will touch upon all these topics. In-depth knowledge, we will have it, okay, in the upcoming classes. So I'm creating a key pair. Without this key pair, we will not be able to log into our virtual machines. Okay, I'm saving this key pair. And further, we have the network configuration settings, and create a security group. I will create a new security group. And here you can see allow RDP traffic. What is RDP? Remote desktop protocol. If this is disabled, what happens? You will not be able to log into your virtual machine. Unless you enable this, you will not be able to log in. Next, further, we have allow HTTP traffic from the internet. If you select this option, only then people can visit your website. If they type your website IP address or the domain name, only then they'll be able to log into your web page. They'll be able to see your web page. If not, they'll not be able to log in. And allow HTTP traffic from the internet. We have internet and the intranet. You can select either of them or both of them. And next, the hard disk. How much hard disk capacity you need to have for your virtual machine? By default, for Windows operating system in AWS environment, they provide 30 GB, which is more than enough. You can make whatever is the capacity that is needed. If you want 1 terabyte of hard drive, yes, of course, you can go ahead. If it is anywhere confusing for you, let me make it in a simplest way. Let us say we want to build our desktop computer for home use. So we walked into the computer shop and we are asking that guy, boss, I need to build a desktop computer for myself or maybe for my customer. And this is the specification I want. What is that specification? To begin with, this computer, the desktop computer, should have 1 TB of hard drive. That is what I have selected. Okay, I'll roll back to the default setting. I'll let you know why. And similarly, whether that desktop should have an Ethernet card to access internet, of course, yes. That is what we have done here. Got it? So that is what we have done here. Next, what is the operating system that you want in your computer? You are giving complete handover to that vendor, saying that I need this specific computer hardware that should have Windows operating system or Linux operating system. That is what we have selected in the beginning here, right? So we have selected Windows operating system we want. So accordingly, that vendor will build that hardware and he will give it to us. Similarly, here we are building a virtual machine that will have certain hardware and software specification. So as per that, we are building, and this virtual machine, what we are building is for our customer or maybe for our own use. And addition to this 30 GB of hard disk, what is there? Do you need to add one more hard drive? Maybe yes. I will say, okay, another 20 GB hard drive I want. I will add. Okay, what is this? in our example, what I was referring to, we are building a desktop computer. You will say, I need two separate hard disks. I don't want to just simply partition one of the hard drive into drive C and drive D. I want to completely isolate the data into two separate hard drives. So I will have two hard drives, one maybe 1 TB and another one maybe 2 TB. And one hard drive may be an SSD hard drive, and another one may be a normal SATA hard drive. Okay, so here, what type of hard disk that you want? So the SSD will be the faster hard disk compared to the normal SATA hard disk, correct? I have added additional hard disk, and let's move on to advanced details. Let us see what is available. Do you want to do domain rejoining? No, we will not touch upon all these things as of now. So we will go with all the default settings available. Okay, but don't worry, we will touch upon each and every topic in the upcoming classes. What is metadata? What is user data? We'll touch upon all these things. Okay, and we are done with it. We have selected a default configuration setting. We'll go ahead and click on launch instance. Okay, so now it is creating our virtual machine. Okay, and the virtual machine is in the process of getting created. So now here you can see the virtual machine is getting created. The name I had given demo lab, and this is the instance ID. What do you mean by instance ID? This is the virtual machine ID. Instance, when we say, it is virtual machine. And what is the instance state? The present instance state is pending. That means the virtual machine has been created, the hardware setup has been done. And remember, we have selected Windows operating system. That Windows operating system is getting created. It is getting installed. It is like you just assembled your desktop computer and you have inserted the media, the Windows bootable media or a pen drive, and installing the operating system. That is what exactly happening at this point of time. When it says it is running, that is what exactly is happening. This is the instance type that we have selected. We have selected T2 Micro that comes with one virtual CPU and 30 gigabytes of RAM, 30 gigabytes of storage and 1 GB of RAM, correct? And status check as of now, it says blank. That will be changed very soon. Now we can see it is saying initializing. What is this initializing? You might have come across installing your operating system, right, in your laptop or desktop. So the first part of installation is completed and it got rebooted, correct? The OS is installing or maybe configuring the minute details. That is what it is happening now. Next, further we have availability zone. Do you see this US West -1A? This is one of the availability zone. This is a independent data center where it is located here in California region. In California region, there could be 3 or 4 or 6 independent data centers are available. These data centers are called availability zones. So in one of the availability zone, our virtual machine is getting created. Next, we have public IPv4 address, DNS, domain name system. Okay, so this is the public IP address. Please remember, each and every server, whether it is on-premises server, a physical server, or a virtual server, it will have 2 IP addresses. One is called a public IP address and another one is called a private IP address. So public IP address is the one we connect remotely from outside that data center or outside that premises. So if you are there in the same network, only then you can use the private IP address to connect between 2 virtual machines or between 2 servers that are located in the same place, same location. And again, it should be in the same network. Okay, we will touch upon all these topics in the upcoming classes. We will know each and every minute things. To begin with, to log into our virtual machine, we need this public IP address. So still it is saying initializing. Let me refresh once again. Let me check what is the status. That's nice. That's good. It says 2 of 2 checks passed. Now our virtual machine is up and ready. We can log into this virtual machine. Okay, how to connect to this virtual machine? So I have selected this virtual machine. Similarly, if you have multiple virtual machines created, you will see 1, 2, 3, 4, all the virtual machines. So whichever virtual machine you want, you can select and you can connect. Now, since we have only one virtual machine, I have selected this virtual machine. I will click on connect. Okay, so here we have the RDP client. This is for Windows. The session manager and EC2 serial console is for connecting to different operating system. Okay, so now we need a password to log in, right? And remember, we have downloaded a keypair.pem key. So that is the key, that is the password. So where is that key? Where is that file that I downloaded it into my desktop? So this is the name what I had given, demo-vm.pem. So I will decrypt this password. Now I got the password to log in. This is the password I need to use. The default username for my server is administrator. Okay, so I'm so sorry. Here it is. Here is the password. Okay, here is the password. So this password, can I change? Of course, we can change. And can I have, instead of administrator, some other name? Yes, of course. All those things we can tweak once we have access to this virtual machine. So there are many ways of connecting to this virtual machine and managing this virtual machine. I will show one of the simplest and easiest way, and we will touch upon all other different ways and means how to connect to this virtual machine in the upcoming classes. So I will download the remote desktop file. So the remote desktop file has been downloaded. I'm opening this file. I think I need to share this screen as well so that you can see. I need to stop sharing and I will share the screen once again. Okay, now can you see this remote desktop connection?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and we have the connect button. I'll click on connect. And I need to provide the password. Remember, here is the password, correct? So this password I copied and I will provide this password to log in to the virtual machine. So here we go. The virtual machine is up and running. It is as good as you have built your desktop computer or a laptop. You have purchased a new laptop and you have installed the operating system. The operating system got installed and you need to log in to do further activities, further work. What are that? Maybe you want to install software. Maybe you want to partition the hard drive, correct? We can do anything and everything. So this is the look of the virtual machine that we have created. And Can someone tell me where we have created this virtual machine? In which location, in which region?
In California.
US
That's
West
good.
one.
That's good. That's nice. Okay, now the virtual machine is ready. And remember, friends, we have added one extra hard drive. Let's see, is that extra hard drive is available? If we go to this PC, what happened? There is only one hard drive. Remember the hard disk storage, initial hard disk storage, we have selected 30 GB, remember? So that 30 GB is here. And there should be one more hard disk, right? The hard disk is not available. That means that hard disk is not yet enabled. We need to activate that hard disk and we need to format that hard drive. For that, I will open Disk Manager tool, create and format disk partitions. So do you see that another hard drive, which is unknown? 20 GB is the hard disk storage what we have selected. I'll right click on it, click on online. Once again, I will click on that hard disk, click on initialize. The hard disk is initialized. It is having unallocated space. There is no drive letter assigned. In our computer, we will have drive C, drive D, drive E, right? Like that. So volume name, I'll say maybe backup disk. So now this storage is ready. Okay. Now do you see that we have one more hard drive?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So this is how we will add on new devices, new storage, lot many things into our virtual machine. So this virtual machine has been created. So what is the purpose of this virtual machine? For what for we can use this virtual machine? Can we go one step ahead and find out what best we can do it? Let us say I want to use this virtual machine as my web server, as my website. I want to host my website into this virtual machine and I want to manage this. Let us say a customer comes to you and he or she says they want to create a website and it should be dedicated for themselves. They don't want to go for Bluehost, GoDaddy.com or any other third-party service providers. They want to have their own website and they want their own web servers. Is it possible to do it? Yes, of course. That is what we are doing. Let me construct a very, very basic, a simple website, and I will show it to you. I will provide the access link of that website. Each one of you can open that website in your computer. You can check. All right. For that, we need to launch Server Manager. We need to install a piece of software, which is called IIS software. That is from Microsoft. The initial part of our lab exercise, creating a virtual machine, has been successfully completed. These are the additional extra things that I'm showing it to you. It was not actually part of today's training. Okay. So I'll select add roles and features. It is still getting initialized. Okay. I will not go in detail because there is a specific separate class for these exercises. Okay. I will install IIS server. You can see here, web server IIS. This is the feature that I'm enabling into this server so that we can host our website. So the IIS server is getting installed. Usually it takes 1 to 2 minutes to complete this process, and again depends on the location and the server what we have selected, how far it is, not how far it is, what is the speed, and if there are any constraints on that particular server, it may take a little bit longer time. Okay, good. Now we have created this server, web server, and let us try to access this web server. How to access this web server? Remember at the beginning of this creation of a virtual machine, I was telling you a public IP address, correct? I will post this public IP address in your chat. Okay. Same time, I will open another tab and will try to open this web page. Do you see that web page which got opened? It says Internet Information Service. This is a default website that has been created. This is our web page. Okay. May I request you participants try to open this IP address in your browser, and please let me know, do you see the same picture?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Now we will make a few changes. Okay. And please do not close that browser. I want to show you something. I'll go back to my virtual machine. For some reason, it is taking a little bit longer than expected to shuttle between the screens. Okay. Now I'm shuttling between my virtual machine as well as the local desktop. So I was telling you, I want to make few changes to the web page, what we have created that is available in this particular folder. Under Drive C, we have INET pub, we have www root. Here you see two files. One is IAST start. This is a image file. This is the same image that you had seen just now when you open that IP address. Correct? So this is the page which is getting open in the background. I will edit this picture. I'll write some content. Okay, I saved this image, and may I request all of you to just refresh your page.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Do you see that?
sir. Yes, sir. AWS
Okay.
Day1 demo.
Okay, I will go one step ahead, still further. Okay, what is that? I will show you. I'll edit this file once again. I don't want this image. I copied some image. And could you please all refresh the web page again? This is the participant screen, the screenshot that I took from my desktop. And now you will
Yes, sir.
see all of you the same thing, right?
Yes, yes.
The web pages keep changing,
The page
correct?
is- Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll do one thing. I'll go to maybe msn.com web page. I will show you how a hacker or a spammer will trick you into making you into logging into their computer and stealing your precious data. Okay. I'll go to view page source. I copied this data. Let me come back to my virtual machine. I'll edit another file. I will show all these things in detail when that particular topic comes up. Okay, I will make all of you people to perform these activities. Okay. In this lab exercise, I have stolen the codes of a particular XYZ website, and I copied into my website, okay, in my web server. Now, could you please, all of you, refresh your web page? Is it getting diverted to different web page now?
It's getting refreshed, sir.
Okay, maybe this particular web page, it is taking much
Yes,
longer
sir.
time.
Everything to MSN.
It opened?
Yes, sir. It's open.
Okay, good. So this is how you can create your web pages. This is the basic, just to give a basic idea about what is a virtual machine. what are all the things that you can do it? This is just a tip of an iceberg, what I'm showing. Okay, so right now we have created a virtual machine and we have hosted a web page. So coming back to our lab exercise, coming back to our topic where we were. Okay, so we have successfully completed this creating Windows virtual machine. The prerequisites, you had seen all of them. Can someone tell me, did we miss any of these information? We have touched upon AWS Management Console, right? So each one of you knows what is our AWS Management Console. And each one of you know what is a region, what is an availability zone, what is a Windows AMI, that is Amazon Machine Image. What is EBS storage? EBS is elastic block storage. That is what we have selected, 30 GB hard disk and additional 20 GB hard disk. That is what it is. Security group. Security group is the one that will control incoming and outgoing traffic. You remember while creating the virtual machine, we have selected enable HTTP, correct? That is what it is. The security group is all about. Okay. Further, let us explore what exactly a region and what exactly an availability zone. It is very, very important topic. This is like the foundation for your complete cloud. Any cloud vertical you take, whether it is AWS or Amazon, Azure, Google Cloud, Alibaba Cloud, IBM Cloud, any cloud you take, this will be the basics of basics. So we have something called a region and an availability zone. So what is all about a region and an availability zone? The definition part, let us look into. Availability zones are grouped together into regions. That means here you can see this picture representation. We have availability zone 1, availability zone 2, and availability zone 3. That is nothing but data center number 1, data center number 2, data center number 3. What is a data center? At the beginning, you had seen that video, right? Google Cloud, Google Data Center. That is what it is. Okay. So all these 3 independent data centers, all 3 of them put together is called a region. Got it? So maybe this is in India location, India region. Now we have selected California, right? California region. Maybe you can think that in California region, in one of this data center, we have created our virtual machine and we have created our web server. That is what it is. Okay. And here you can see onto the right side, you have this big, massive building, right? This massive building is one data center. This one data center is that huge. This may be located in Mumbai location. And similarly, another one in Chennai. Okay, so all of these data centers are interlinked with a high bandwidth internet connection. Okay, why these independent data centers are located at different locations? The reason being to overcome any disaster that happens, foreseeing the thing. Now let us say the ongoing Russia and Ukraine war. Of course, there are several data centers. So these availability zones are there in both in Russia as well as in Ukraine. What happens if Russia or Ukraine, they bomb one of these data center and it is completely damaged or partially damaged, which is not available to the rest of the world? What happens? So usually in our IT world, how we manage it for disaster purpose. The complete the data of this data center 3 will be mirrored, will be available in zone 1 and zone 2. Suppose this is bombed or due to floods or natural calamities or for some issue or the other, this is not accessible then any of these two, either of these two data centers that will provide service. Say, for example, you will type www.google.com. Do you mean all the participants, the 38 or 40 participants who are there in this class, if everyone types google.com, all of us, we are going to get connect to the same data center to fetch the data? No. I may get connect to zone 3, you may get connect to zone 2, another person may get connect to zone 1, but all of us, we will see the same image. For example, you want to watch a Netflix movie, the same movie I'm also watching. I'm getting the movie from this location, you are getting the movie from this location, but both of us watching same time. That means the data is replicated and available in all the 3 locations. So in our lab today exercise, whatever the virtual machine we have created the virtual machine in zone 1. And similarly, we can create the same in zone 2 and zone 3. That is another beautiful exercise we have, which is called load balancing. So in that, what we do, we will create 3 virtual machines, just now what we have created. Similarly, we will create one in availability zone 1, another one in 2, and one more in 3. And we will have the same web page in all the 3. But every time you try to access the web page will be fetched once from availability zone 1, second time in maybe zone 3, and the third time maybe in zone 2. Okay, these are all wonderful lab exercises. We will perform all these lab exercises in the upcoming classes. So we'll move on to the next slide. So whatever we have learned, we have performed in the lab exercise, the minute topics that we have touched upon. Here we have the definition part. So what is a AWS Management Console? We had a fair understanding, right? We have touched upon to know what is a Management Console. Management Console is an online web application that includes large number of service consoles for controlling AWS services. So next comes Amazon EC2. What is Amazon EC2? Amazon EC2 is the virtual machine, just now what we have created. That is what I refer to as Amazon EC2. So there we have created a web server. Further, next we have EC2 dashboard. What is EC2 dashboard? So EC2 dashboard, let me take you back and forth between the slide and my management console so that you'll be able to understand. Okay, to begin with, the AWS Management Console. What is AWS Management Console? Here we go. The first screen, what we see the moment you log into your AWS account, that is what the AWS Management Console. You can see here the console home, correct? This is AWS Management Console. Next is Amazon EC2. Amazon EC2 is what we have created, the virtual machine, so that we had already seen. And EC2 dashboard. Where do you see this EC2 dashboard? For that, we'll go back to our EC2 virtual machines where we have created. So here we go. This is the EC2 dashboard. Okay, so what is this EC2 dashboard? Elastic Compute Cloud dashboard gives the information. It clearly says how many servers that you have created. Now here you can see instance running is 1, correct? And volumes, there are 2 volumes, 2 hard disk drives created, right? One default hard disk of 30 GB, correct? And one more 20 GB additional storage what I created. Correct, that is what it is. Next, key paste. Remember the password key, what we have created, that one. Security group, by default, there is one security group. Addition to that, we have selected one more security group to create. This is the dashboard. It gives complete inside out information of our virtual machine. Next, we have AMI. We have already explored what is AMI. We have basic understanding of AMI. The definition part is Amazon Machine Image is a template that includes the installed configured software, including the operating system, application servers, and other software programs. That means this is like the media. This is like a DVD drive that has got your Windows operating system installable software. The AMI is similar type. So you can use the AMI image to create a new instance. If an instance fails, or just if you want to create another virtual machine. Now I just created one virtual machine. I want to create another virtual machine. Yes, I can select. Okay. And next we have EC2 limits. EC2 limits is how many virtual machines you can create in a region. What is the region? Can someone tell me in which region we have created the virtual machine?
California.
Correct. In this California region, how many virtual machines you can create? Maybe up to 20 virtual machines you can create. Let us say in California region, I have created 3 virtual machines, and I have created another 3 virtual machines in Mumbai, maybe another 5 in UK, another 5 in US. All put together, it cannot go 20 instances, 20 virtual machines under one single AWS account. That is what it is. Either you are free to create 20 virtual machines in one single region, or you can spread it across under different regions. Next, we have instances. What do you mean by instance? It is an AWS account, a virtual server known as an instance. The virtual machine, what we have just created, that is called an instance. The operating system and the programs that you run on your instance can be configured using Amazon EC2. The Amazon EC2 is the tool using which we will create instance. We will play around literally whatever needed. Further, we have touched upon security group, right? While creating this lab, what is a security group? For your EC2 instances, a security group service serves as a virtual firewall to manage incoming and outgoing traffic. So the outbound rules manage the traffic leaving your instance, and inbound rules control the traffic entering into it. Next, we have learned one more topic while performing the lab exercise, SSH keys. You remember one key file that I downloaded, placed it onto my desktop? That is a file. SSH means a secured shell. SSH keys are used by Amazon Web Services to link the servers and the clients securely and exchange data. So no third party can log into that server. The virtual machine, what I have created now, if I want any of the participants to log into that virtual machine, I will have to share that key file, which I downloaded. Only then you will be able to log in. So there are 2 types of keys are available, a private key and a public key. So we will touch upon all these topics in detail, in depth in the upcoming classes. So next we have services. Amazon Web Services offering over 200 plus universally featured resources from infrastructure to machine learning. So what is this service? At the beginning of the moment we logged into our AWS management console, you had seen, right? These are all the services. If you select analytics, and analytics, you have Athena, one service. And this is especially used for query data in S3 using SQL. Cloud search, AWS data exchange, data pipeline, there are so many. And similarly, I want to show something, machine learning. Under machine learning, we have so many services are available. Similarly, if you select IoT, Internet of Things, you have. And there are so many online games are available, right, to play. Famous as a game, online game that you can play. I often watch on TV is Rummy Circle, something, card game. Okay, those games are hosted in cloud. All right, and you can see satellite. This is what I was referring to. ground station. You can create a virtual machine. You can add this service and you can get connect to the one of the satellites that is revolving. And robotics, you can select this service for performing the robotic task or activities. Databases, we have so many databases to offer. We have RDS, we have DynamoDB, and also third-party databases are also supported, like SQL, NoSQL, Aurora database. There are many databases that are supported. We have one more that is blockchain used for Bitcoin. Correct, especially this particular service, this feature is used for Bitcoin. You can also manage that. You name the requirement in cloud vertical, it is already made available. Okay, so this is all about the services. Next, what are all the services that we will touch upon in this 8 weeks of weekend classes? As I said, AWS Cloud Services provides over 200 plus services readily available. The popular services that we will touch upon in our class is one is compute. Under compute, we have one service called EC2, Elastic Compute Cloud. That is what we have learned today. In the upcoming classes, we will touch upon Lightsail, Lambda, Elastic Beanstalk, serverless apps, and features minimum. Similarly, just like the compute service, we have another service called storage. It is the same storage where we have used the 20 GB hard disk. You remember, we have added the additional hard disk storage. That is what it is. So there are many types of storage services that are available. We will learn each one of them. Similarly, we have network services. Under network services, once again, there are many services are available. And further, if you go, we have databases. Under databases, different types of databases are available. You can use RDS, we can use Amazon Aurora, you can use SQL, you can use MariaDB. Remember, guys, most of you guys were asking for Power BI, right? And as I know, most of your laptop or desktop will not support or work effectively the moment you install your Power BI desktop software and start using, because the hardware configuration of your laptop or desktop will not be enough. It needs a minimum i5 processor and above, and at least 16 GB of RAM for smooth workflow, and any SSD hard drive mandatory for a fast processing, or else still you can use your i3 or i5 with normal SATA hard drive with 4 GB or 8 GB of RAM. But when you are shuttling between different sheets, or when you are trying to import data, it takes hell a lot of time. Correct. So to overcome that, you need to have the faster processing system, or simply you can create a virtual machine of your choice, whether you want 4 GB, 8 GB, or 16 GB, whatever. And with the SSD hard drive, you can install Power BI here in this virtual machine. Also, you can connect to MySQL or whatever is the backend database. It could be Oracle, or it could be Microsoft SQL, any backend database that from where you want to fetch the data into your Power BI and perform your dashboards. Next, we have another very important service, which is called a security, identity, and compliance, where we have IAM, identity and access management. We'll touch upon all these things in detail. And further, we have cost management and governance. So we will touch upon the DevOps tools. We will not go in detail, in depth, but we will touch upon and we will learn what are all the different tools that are available. Okay, if you see here, let me clear this. I'm so sorry. Okay. So we will also touch upon DevOps, but we will not go in detail, in depth. That will be only an introductory. What is DevOps? DevOps, the definition part is DevOps is a methodology aims to enhance the software development life cycle. So most software development activities, including build, conflict management, deploy, dependency management, deployment, can be automated with this assistance. Using what? Using the various tools that are available for DevOps. You might have come across, or you might have heard about Jenkins. You might have heard about Splunk, Puppet, Nagios, Ansible, right? Kubernetes, Git, Docker. So these are all the services meant for DevOps, and I will try to touch upon as much in detail depth as possible so that you will have at least some basic understanding, basic knowledge for your career growth and for wherever it is possible for you to implement or use it. So with this, we have touched upon, we have reached at the end of our class. Today's class, we'll perform one more last lab exercise, that is deleting the lab resources, whatever we have created. Why it is important? It is important because if you leave it, the free tier usage, whatever you have, 750 hours of free usage is available every month, that gets exhausted. Now, let us say we are in this virtual machine. We have created the virtual machine, but we are not using for the last 1 hour. Out of 750 hours, 1 hour is exhausted. Okay. Similarly, I have created, let us say, 10 virtual machines in 10 different regions, or maybe in one single region itself. All the 10 virtual machines are running parallelly. I may not be using, I may not connect to that virtual machine, but that virtual machine is up and running. For 2 hours, that virtual machine is running. That means 20 hours of my time is exhausted. So to avoid that, I will delete these virtual machines because we are done with the lab exercise, right? So how do we do it? I'll select this lab exercise that has been created. Click on instance state, click on terminate instance. Okay, so this instance getting shut down. It is as good as you are shutting down your laptop or desktop computer. Now we can see I got even terminated from the virtual machine where I got connected. All the web server that I installed, software that I installed, web page, whatever I have installed, configured, everything is gone because the basic server itself is decommissioned. It has been deleted. Now we can see instance running is 0. That means my virtual machine has been deleted. Instances, it says 1. What does that mean? This instance is getting terminated or already terminated, but still it is made available. It takes about 15 minutes to go away completely, to remove this completely from the dashboard. Okay. Further, we have volumes. Remember one extra hard drive that we have created that is still there. We will have to delete that volume as well. That is the 20 GB one. 30 GB is already marked for deletion. Okay, so which will go on its own. We need not to worry about that. 20 GB one, we need to delete it. Okay, but that virtual machine is still in use. Okay, now we got the delete button enabled. It got deleted. I'll go back to dashboard. Still, it says the volume 1 is available. If you refresh it, it will become 0. Similarly, we have a key pair. Key pair can be retained because it is not chargeable, but I don't want to mess up. Anyway, I will not be able to use this key pair because this key pair was specifically allocated for that virtual machine what I created. I'll have to say delete. That gets deleted. Key pair is also deleted. I'll refresh. Security groups, we have security groups also, we can leave it, not to worry. But I will delete that security group because I don't want to mess up. Anyway, I will not be using the same security group again. Delete the security group. That's it. So we are ready to go. Security group, one more is there, but that is the default security group that we cannot delete it. Even if you try to delete it, and if you are successful, that particular region, again, you cannot create a virtual machine and you'll not be able to log in, because the default security group is mandatory. If you come back after maybe 15 or 20 minutes later, this instance, which is showing 1, that also will go away. That also will be removed. So with this, we have completed today's class. Okay, and this slide is the last slide of today's class. Before we move on to the question and answer session, I request one of the participants to share your screen so that we will perform this lab exercise on your side. Okay, I will stop sharing my screen.